gets you so far in life and allows you to be that lifelong learner. And then in conversations like this, in behavioral interviews, in case interviews, you can pull out so many tricks and things from your hat. So like an all eggs in one basket type of guy, but I've always been an all or nothing type of dude. I'm learning a lot right now because I don't run a podcast. So I'm seeing the way you conduct it. And my mom knows nothing about business and neither does my dad. And they've given me business advice.
DJ, thank you so much for hopping on KKC Consulting. It's been a podcast that we've been planning for a long time.
I know, it's been a minute.
Long time. But I'm glad you've been able to hop on today. Really excited to go about this episode. Because man, like listen, Simon Kucher, consulting in that entire bubble, soccer player in a past life.
Past life for sure.
You know, company founder now. You've done so many different things, and especially at such a young age. But again, I know a lot about you. Maybe the audience doesn't. Do you mind sharing a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, stoked to be here. You went on vacation. I went on vacation. There was no time. It's been months waiting. But a bit about me. Yeah, my name is Daniel Pereira. Most people call me DJ. Again, as you mentioned, I just previously interned at Simon Kucher & Partners. Shout out to the team over there. The Toronto office is growing fast. Great experience. I worked on a TMT project. My former life before university, I was a semi-pro soccer player. I played over in Portugal, France, had a stint in England, and also played a little bit here in League One. For those who know League One, shout out League One. Didn't work out, got a couple of injuries. Didn't think I was going to make it to the level I wanted to, so decided to pursue business. That's how I got to the Schulich School of Business, where I attend university. I'm in my 4th year now, so holy smokes, does time fly. But yeah, and the most recent thing to date is I co-founded a company called Brixl. So we're an AI-powered recruitment platform and social networking platform for the trades of construction. You know, I come from a trades of construction background. I mean, my parents are Portuguese immigrants. My aunts and uncles are all Portuguese immigrants, everybody, and they all work construction. And, you know, the idea was to serve a market that, in our opinion, has been underserved for a long time, right? In terms of a technological kind of modernization perspective. So that's something I'm really working on now, super busy with that, while also trying to do school and pursue further consulting opportunities. So busy life, fun life, you know, I wouldn't change anything. And I'm excited to be here, man. I'm super hyped to get into some conversations.
Of course, man, of course. And I genuinely feel we'll have such a great conversation because, I mean, me and you, we go back like a year. It's almost been
a bit, I think. Yeah, it's been time.
Yeah. So
we're growing up, dude.
I mean, I don't want to. But even over that time, like both of us have grown in whatever ways. Like at that time, I think I freshly started the podcast as well.
It would have been around there. Yeah, because I remember searching you up, started stalking. You had just started. You were on the first couple of episodes. It was Aish, Tanvir, Iman. Those were the only episodes you had at the time.
Yeah. No,
shout out those guys.
Great. It's been great that, you know, we've both grown in our ways. But like, let's dive into that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Consulting specifically, how did you go into it and why did you go into it?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, I was a late bloomer into consulting. I had already finished 2 years of university before I was like, I think I want to change kind of what I wanted to do. I was very fixated on finance and I started to dabble in strategy. And I'd always had more of a sales background because of my entrepreneurial spirits.
Right.
But I didn't really know what I wanted to do in the corporate world. I had connected with certain individuals like Aish. I think I'd already known Iman at the time.
Right.
And they were like, dude, consulting, what's wrong with it? And I was like, well, first of all, I don't know what that is. But obviously started doing the research, started really looking into it. And, you know, the phrase I use to define consulting is, you know, that's the corporate version of entrepreneurship. You know, you solve problems for a living, you create impact in businesses across various industries. And you basically work with and beside C-level execs and other problem solvers. So it doesn't get more entrepreneurial than that. That's what really appealed to me and what made me want to get into the industry. Obviously, from then on out, I continued to pursue it. I failed first year, couldn't really find any opportunities, didn't really know what I was doing. And I was very fresh, right? From a case perspective, even from understanding how to ace a behavioral, although, you know, I've always been considerably a good speaker, understanding how to appeal to certain demographics and audience, that being, you know, consultant recruiters and senior managers at firms, was different. So obviously didn't have much success right away, but it didn't deter me. I had a lot of good mentors, a lot of good connects, and kept growing, kept pushing. And that's how I secured that Simon Kucher internship, which is pretty cool because
it is.
That was actually the only interview that I got that summer.
Wow.
We've spoken about this. Yes. Was the only interview I got that summer. I had no other opportunities, no other options. I also didn't apply much. Again, I was a weird soul. I was very particular with what I wanted, and sometimes that's not the best thing to do because it was very much so like an all eggs in one basket type of guy, but I've always been an all or nothing type of dude. Right. So I was like, no, this is the company I want to work at. I liked everything about it. I thought it was really cool because it's a European company. For those who don't know, Simon Kucher is out of Germany. And I was like, this is really cool. This is something I want. I think I could really fit into this culture more so than, than other company cultures. Right. And yeah, I killed the interview, aced it. I was on interviews with partners from Atlanta, San Francisco.
Damn.
And, really wanted to impress and did a really solid job. And I think, we can get into the details of how I think I succeeded and why, but a lot of it was just grit, man. I really didn't want to fail, and I really wanted that opportunity. And, things work in miraculous ways when you put your all into it. So it was pretty cool, yeah.
No, I can imagine. And like I've heard from, mentors that we both share, Iman, Aish, all of them have stated that, you're one of the most charismatic guys they've met.
Yeah, I try, man. I try. You got to play to your strengths in life, right? And there's so much competition in this world. The markets are only getting harder and harder to compete in. And everyone's so focused on, the problem solving aspect of consulting, being able to do all that. And not that I'm not good at that. I'd like to say I'm very solid at it. I mean, I am a business owner at the end of the day. I have to understand these aspects of business and corporate. But what makes me stand out is definitely that charismatic side, being able to hold myself in conversations, in rooms with anybody, right? Like, obviously we're speaking here, but I've had conversations with CEOs of multi-billion-dollar firms, and I can hold myself just the same. And I think that's definitely taken me a long time to get here. But it's definitely one of the core reasons why I am where I am today, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
No, it's important, man. It's important just being able to hold conversations with anyone. And not only that, but even providing value. And the thing that I love to share is that, excuse me, you can provide value in so many different ways, right?
For sure, 100%.
If I'm speaking to a consultant, obviously I'm not as good as problem solving as them, perhaps not even near as good as behaviorals, and maybe several different perspectives or analytics that you might want to measure by.
Yeah.
But I have different types of strengths. For example, social media marketing, I would say like I'm okay at that.
Yeah.
And just different things that I've accumulated over time that I could just share. Even like knowledge about faith, right? A lot of times, like I remember I was invited, I don't want to say his name, but it was a really cool friend that I'm really close with today. I was invited by him to downtown. We had a conversation. This was a coffee chat, very first one.
Cool.
And I remember he was telling me about, the different spaces, consulting, tech, finance, etc. And the only way I could give value, because this was summer of grade 12, I think, the only way I could give value was by talking about my religion. And he rated me so much, he gave me a referral to that same company.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everyone has their strengths, right? And everyone has their weaknesses. It's non-negotiable, right? It's one of the guarantees of life. Nobody's good at everything, and that's just a fact. So, you got to, first of all, understand your strengths, and then you play your cards right? Yeah. It's important. Don't try and fake it, right? Like you said, you had a coffee chat and you were in the grade 12. You hadn't even hit university yet. You talk about what you know, and that creates a bond. And a bond takes you further than the knowledge can ever take you. And that's 1,000%. I mean, bonds have broken billion-dollar deals and billion-dollar companies. It hasn't been knowledge. It hasn't been that. It's been relationships. So, and a key thing in relationships is you play to your strengths, the other counterpart plays to their strengths, and together you come together and you obviously uplift each other, and you strive for bigger and better goals. Like that's you got to do that 100%. I'm a huge advocate for playing to your strengths, play your cards right, understand yourself and what you're good at and what you're not good at, so that you can improve those too. Right, both sides is critical.
No, definitely. And even yesterday at the Schulich Consulting Club panel, so there were some great consultants. Salah, Alex.
Shout out Alex.
Yeah, Alex is a great guy.
Shout out Alex, man.
And everyone else who was there. Point is, like, shout out to all of them. They all shared the same perspective that sometimes when you're communicating with different businesses and you're trying to solve an issue that they have, a lot of politics come into play.
Absolutely.
And you need to understand how to even just mitigate those different problems, analyze it from a third point of view, and see like, okay, where do I come in? When do I come in? And what do I say? Because there's people in the same team, they don't want to talk to each other. People in different teams, they don't want to talk to each other.
Absolutely.
And things of that nature.
Absolutely. Teamwork 101. If you guys can't function as a team, the goal is never going to be achieved. It's impossible. You see it in sports, you see it in day-to-day life, you see it everywhere, right? So it's critical, 100%.
Now, I do want to jump in to almost the behavioral side. We'll split this podcast into a few different sections.
Cool.
I think right now just focusing on the behaviorals, because casing everyone knows about, right?
Everyone knows about it. It's almost boring.
Yeah, but I feel like one of your biggest strengths, and you would probably agree to this as well, is your behavioral side, your charisma, being able to talk to people.
100%.
So talk to me about how you got that confidence and why that even sprouted out.
Yeah, well, first off, I mean, we were just talking about it before the pod. I actually had social anxiety as a kid where I couldn't speak in front of anybody. I wouldn't do it. I'd start crying. I'd run away. I was really young, guys, so don't judge. I'm not talking like I was 14. And there are people out there who still suffer from that at older ages, right? And, you know, I had to go to therapy for a while to come out of that, whatever zone I was stuck in, to get out of it, you know, get comfortable being uncomfortable, which you hear a lot in the business world, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And obviously over time that skill developed, still was kind of weak in high school. And I think actually institutions like high schools actually don't do enough to push that public speaking and being comfortable to present, et cetera, et cetera. I only really got good at it through my own personal endeavors and since I got to university. And you could argue even universities could push that a little more in terms of, you know, forcing there to be no scripts when you present. And there's so many other details. But, you know, that's where it started. And obviously I started to develop the skill. But I think a lot of my charisma and ability to talk about myself, one comes from confidence within myself. I know who I am. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm bad at. I know what I can talk about and I know what I can't talk about. That's helped a lot with my ability to have these type of conversations. And then the second thing is just, again, it's just energy, right? You know, you got to understand the person in front of you and you work off of their energy. I'm not outgoing like this, blah, 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 oh my gosh. If you, for example, are very, very sluggish, but I can still hold a conversation with you. I just have to change the way I come about it, right? So that was a skill that took a long time to understand because a conversation isn't about what you say. It's about who's in front of you and how you say things, right? You hear it in sales all the time. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Definitely. And it's always hard in sales. And that's why I give respect to anybody in sales who can close deals and communicate with people effectively through a phone when you can't see their body language, you don't know what their facial expressions are, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't even got that good at that. That's still a weakness of mine. Yeah. But at least face to face or even on Zoom meetings, you know, when I have behavioral interviews, I do a very good job at reading the room. And it's critical, right? Because then you identify points in time when you can make a joke, when you have to get a little serious, when you can tell they're intrigued in what you're talking about. And if they seem like they're not interested, you have to pivot your conversation or add a little more to your tone. And that's what's really helped me. Because when I go into behavioral interview, first of all, I always know and want to know who I'm talking to. And I do my research and I go into that with full-blown confidence to the point where it's no longer an interview. It's just going to be a 30-minute conversation. Yeah. And that's how you have to be. And then my number one tip for behaviorals is don't be afraid to sell yourself, right? Definitely. It's your career on the line. It's not theirs. So it's your responsibility and it's your job to put your best foot forward to show them not necessarily why you're the best candidate, but why you're a great human being and a great person and you have cool things to the point where they leave the interview and they're like, wow, like we could really use this person in our office or this person would really help us in our day-to-day operations within the office. Like a big trend right now in companies, and I've spoken with partners at Deloitte, EY, and MBB firms, and you know everyone's slowly kind of liking the idea of coming back to the office, and that only happens when the people you work with are amazing. So I don't phrase it like I'm a company culture hire. I don't think I ever am. I think I'm very strong strategically, but I'm the first to admit my behavioral stand out. And like you said, everyone knows about cases. So right now the trend is, how do you stand out the most? It's not going to be from a case interview. Not that everyone's going to be around the same, similar level, but the gap between who's strong and who's weak is a lot smaller than the gap between who's strong and who's weak from a behavioral perspective. So right now, from a competitive point of view, that's where you really have to take a leap. And this goes for you, this goes for anybody, this goes for myself. Take a leap and stand out in that realm because that goes a long way. It carries far. You hear it all the time. Dude, the behavioral is critical, man. It's the round one interview, but that sets you up for success. And I hear it all the time. People have told me, oh man, I killed my behavioral. My case was wishy-washy, but I still got the job. You don't hear the other way around. Yeah. My case was great, but my behaviorals were trash and I got the job. Doesn't happen often. If it does, I've never heard of it, but I'm sure there's some outliers out there. So behaviorals are critical. You got to believe in yourself. You have to sell yourself. And you got to have confidence, man, or else they read right through you. Right, they're professionals too.
They are.
You know?
They are. You know, some of them have been in the industry for like 30 years, and I mean, this goes back because I'll be the first to admit I also was a complete introvert. Not that it's a bad thing, but I just did not like talking to people. I just like staying at my home and playing games and whatnot. But one of the biggest reasons I even started this podcast, apart from networking and being able to help other people, was for me to even come outside of that comfort zone. Yes. And I remember it so clearly in my very first episode with Aisha and Iman, those two. I was stuttering like crazy. I didn't know how to speak. I remember
nervous for sure.
Very nervous, right? Like it was my first time meeting, quote unquote, like consultants. You know, you gotta feel like you gotta impress them.
Yeah, they've done what you want to do.
Exactly.
Right, and that kind of puts you in a position of you almost feel inferior in a sense.
Definitely.
Do I deserve to be here? I've been there so many times. Absolutely.
Right? And it's so important because when I got to the groove of things, when I got to the point where I'm like, all right, you know what, I can vibe with anyone, right? It just helped me so much more because so many more opportunities would swing by just because, you know, now I've been able to network with a bunch of people. And the thing that I love to tell people is that I don't network just for the sake of numbers, right? Like maybe in the past that I have, right? But again, I try not to do that at all. Because at the end of the day, I really just speak to people I'm interested. Like their entire journey is just cool. They're a cool person. We go out to Ridgeway sometimes. Like even with the
Ridgeway.
even with the tech and sales guys. Like I'm not going into tech or sales necessarily, but I still hang out with them because they're really cool people. Right? Like shout out Seth. He's SoundCloud rapper. He's working at Klaviyo, Amazon, you know, Microsoft, all these cool places. And it's really, really cool just being able to speak to people as if they're your friend. And all the referrals and jobs and whatnot, the corporate stuff that comes afterwards, right? And I guess this is really just a testimony to the fact that you need to be comfortable and confident just talking to anyone. There's been a lot of times, like I'll be the very first one to admit, where I've been in conversations and it's just static for 30 minutes. Sorry, 30 seconds. Right? And you're wondering like, yo, what do I talk about? Right?
No, it happens.
And for me, I feel like one of the best ways I was able to break out of that is, like you mentioned, just studying the person, understanding what their roles are, trying to see what gets them ticking. Like, for example, you know, with Hader, he's a guy who works at Microsoft. Shout out to Hader.
He's a killer.
He's very, very kind. He loves to help other people. So even just talking about that, we made that connection. Right? Being able to talk to XYZ about some hobby, being able to talk to you about soccer. Right? If I told you my 100%. Favorite team is Liverpool, who do you support?
I'm a Madrid fan, man. I started watching soccer in 2009 when Ronaldo first signed. I'm Portuguese, dude. I'm a loyal guy. I'm a Madrid fan. Shout out Real Madrid.
No, I've been supporting Liverpool since Salah moved over to AS Roma.
No, great team, man. They're doing well.
They are. I mean,
2-game losing streak, though, for those soccer fans out there.
I haven't been keeping up ever since Alexander Arnold went over.
Join the good side.
All right. But I mean, going back to the conversation, right? Now I want to ask, you know, what steps did you take? Like, if you could give some advice to the audience, what steps would you encourage them to take to really just push forward on the behavioral side?
Well, it might sound like a no-brainer, but the non-negotiable is you have to put yourself in those uncomfortable situations, which means having conversations with people you may think you don't deserve to have. And I struggle with that to start too.
100%, me too.
Dude, it's hard to reach out to you know, a partner or to even just a senior manager and feel like they deserve to be with you in terms of a 30-minute conversation. Like 30 minutes for consultant is a lot of time. I mean, I know that now after a 9-week internship, man, those 9 hours plus when you go past 5:30, you don't stop working. So imagine someone who may be getting 50 to 75 emails about asking for 30 minutes of your time. And that used to really kind of damage my mentality where I was like, dude, I don't deserve to reach out to this person. What am I going to talk about for 30 minutes when they're busy as heck? Getting over that's important. And that starts with having conversations with individuals who you, like, again, outside of your comfort zone. I don't know if I am even credible to talk to this guy, but you know what? I have some very genuine questions I want to ask. I want to find out. I want to practice, et cetera, et cetera. And shout out to Graham Deans, because that networking assignment that we did, at least in Intro to Business in year one, helped a lot. Although it was only 4 conversations, more if you wanted to, it helps so much getting out of your comfort zone. You got to outreach, send an email to someone you don't really know and ask if you can have 30 minutes of their time, ask genuine questions, try and gain some knowledge, and then apply it to your day-to-day life. So from a behavioral perspective, it starts with you got to have these conversations that make you uncomfortable, because it's the only way you get better at it. Right? You're not going to get better at, for example, talking to a mirror, right? I used to do that, practice presentations when I still had a little bit of social anxiety, but now to the level I'm at, it won't help you. You need to go push outside of your comfort zone, have conversations with people. It might just be going to the cafe. And instead of just ordering your coffee, ask how their day's been. You know, talk about if it's been busy.
Talk to a girl.
Dude, it's something people underwhelm. if you're a guy, talk to girls, right? Like it helps a ton, and it teaches you strategy. It teaches you how to properly speak.
It actually does.
And it teaches you respect. It teaches you so many different values that go beyond just quote unquote talking to a girl, and more so you actually gain skills, confidence, charisma, controlling your tone, understanding when to compliment, understanding when not to. Guys, I'm not a dating coach, but you know, I have a very,
Sounds like it.
I've been in a relationship for 2 years. I love my girlfriend, but you know, it's true. It applies. People, and the problem is, you know, and this could be attributed to the more gaming. COVID didn't help whatsoever with individuals having the confidence to speak to other people. You know, I know friends who have friends who they only communicate online. And that hinders you from, you know, when we talk about behaviorals and being able to communicate, it hinders you because you're already at a disadvantage, right? Whereas me, every relationship I have is in person, physical. I don't talk on phones. I don't do phone calls much. You know, if we speak, it's when I see you. We talk for hours. We communicate well. With people I don't know, it's the same thing. Hey, how you doing? Handshake. All of a sudden, we're talking about mixing and mashing on a DJ set, like whatever it may be, right? So my advice to anybody watching this, if you're a first year, second year, high school student, and you're trying to get into consulting, the case interview, there's a lot of methods out there to help you. You can get good at it. It just takes repetition. But with behaviorals, you can also
buy KKC Classroom.
You can buy KKC Classroom. Shout out to that platform. Amazing platform. Stay tuned. But yeah, dude, like you gotta have these conversations. It's the best piece of advice I can give you. And then with experience, you start to learn certain tips and tricks. For example, storytelling when you speak is very critical. Right? Being able to frame what you want to say in a storytelling way, that just maintains engagement. Like I love to blabble, so what ends up happening is I got to get really good at storytelling, or else I'm going to lose you after about 30 seconds to a minute. But I've been able successfully to hit 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes of talking, and maintain engagement from the people listening to me because of the fact that I'm able to storytell it in a way, you know, beginning, middle, end, which is a very good consulting practice.
Yeah, it is.
Especially MBB firms, they love that organization, right? That structure. So you know that structure can be applied to behaviorals. It's not just, you know, structuring your thoughts and frameworks in when you're doing a case interview. Like same thing with behaviorals, and it goes beyond just the STARL method, right? Like it goes beyond that: structure, task, action, result, what you learn. It goes beyond that, right? What's your storytelling? Something so boring. I've had interview questions that were about my time as a consultant, as a sales associate at Canadian Tire, where all I did was sell tires and auto body shop stuff. I've had interview questions about that, and I'm able to storytell something. To me, it's kind of boring, but able to storytell it, and people look at me and they're like, huh, fascinating, because they don't think about it. And then it's just a cool conversation. That goes back to playing with your strengths. I worked at Canadian Tire. I doubt many partners at MBB firms or Deloitte or EY or, in this case, Simon Kucher, because that's one of the partners asked me this question. They never worked at Canadian Tire. So all of a sudden, I'm going to control the conversation.
Right.
Everything I say is something new to them, in a certain sense, right? Obviously, they have a car. They know a little bit about it, but... cool perspectives, right? So again, my advice, you got to practice. You got to go out of your comfort zone. You got to talk to people you don't know. Talk to people you do know. That goes beyond just, yo, how you doing, broski? Like, how's everything? You know, beyond that, right? Changing your tone. These are all things you practice, but you develop them over time. And don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't try and develop your skills behind the scenes and then say, okay, now I'm ready to talk. Won't help. Because all of a sudden, it's in business. All of a sudden, it's been 5 years and you never launched.
Yeah.
You have to launch, and then you tweak, and then you learn, and then you adapt, and then all of a sudden you become an expert, which I'm still far from, but I'm getting there day in, day out.
Definitely. No, I mean, in my opinion, you're an expert.
No, close.
Maybe a semi-pro.
So yeah, thanks for the dig. Semi-pro for sure.
No, but it's fair. It's a very, very fair point. Like even with the podcast, I keep going back to this because it's so true. Like in grade 12, I kid you not, I roamed around my house in a shower robe. I had a buzz cut and I had acne all over my face.
Yeah.
I spoke with no one. I had zero confidence. Literally nothing, right? And the crazy thing is, like, in a year, like, thankfully, all praise to God, I was, like, marathon, writing a blog, VP of 180. Shout out to them.
Shout out 180, man. We could talk about it. I worked there, too.
3.8 GPA. A bunch of other things I get too lazy to name.
So many achievements, eh? But so much more to accomplish, right?
No, yes, definitely. But the point is that I would have never gotten any of those things if I just didn't like put myself out there.
Yeah, right? You have to. My favorite phrase is, oh my gosh, bro, I've been thrown into the lion's den.
Yeah.
If you talk to any of my buddies, even, I don't know if you've heard me say it, lion's den. Everything's lion's den. Whereas sometimes you just got to almost voluntarily throw yourself in the lion's den. It's like, well, I'm not going to beat these lions, But each time I might learn something new that can enhance my chances of doing so. Guys, I'm never going to beat up a line. But the point is, you throw yourself in uncomfortable situations and you come out a stronger man, woman, consultant, strategist, entrepreneur, whatever it may be. But you never will if you're just sitting back and thinking, life comes to you. No, you have to attack life. You got to grab it by in a chokehold and say, no, I have control of you and this is how I want to go about doing it. And then back up your talk, right? Don't say you want to accomplish things and you walk around in a robe, not taking care of yourself, whatever it may be. I don't have a robe. That's very interesting.
Bro, I still love that shower robe. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. But yeah, point is, you got to take control of your own life. No one's going to do it for you. If you have a goal, go out and get it, create an action plan, and then work towards it. Consistency, discipline, right? It takes you so far. It's the art of compounding at the end of the day, right? Every day you show up, you have an outcome in your mind, and you push towards achieving it day in, day out. That's what we're doing. That's what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
That's what Imam, who was just a recent guest on your podcast, is doing successfully. And any consultant, that's what you're doing too. You start not knowing anything about consulting.
Definitely.
I've been a management consulting as an intern. I'm trying to go into it full time. I still know nothing about management consulting. It takes years. It takes time. It takes conversations. It takes projects. But the point is, that's the goal. And you work towards it every single day. And that's the key, right?
Yeah. And even this goes back to the conversations we were having before, and even just tying in what we just said. I had a conversation with a partner, right? And again, getting a partner, being able to talk to XYZ, it's really, really hard at this age, right?
Yeah.
And we scheduled 30 minutes for the conversation. I thought it was going to be over in 20 minutes, if I'm being completely candid with you. Because they're so busy. They're doing XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. I remember this person showed me his schedule. Oh my God. It was filled.
They got scheduled for 3 people.
Yeah, right? So when I was speaking with this person, what I found out is that most of the time they don't even want to speak about work necessarily.
No, of course not.
And it makes so much more sense because they're spending hours and hours and hours and hours of their life just working. So why would they want to speak about that voluntarily? So I think the entire conversation, I don't think I mentioned the team once. Not once.
Interesting.
The entire conversation. And somehow, surprisingly, shout out to that partner. I don't think he'll listen to this, but
Listen to it.
I went from 30 minutes to an hour and 30.
Nice.
Right? So
nice.
The entire time bro, if I'm being completely honest with you, I thought it was almost as if he was testing me while I was asking the questions, when you get into that environment, you get into that flow state. But before that flow state, it gets so hard, right?
Yeah, it is hard.
Just shout out to that partner for making me feel comfortable to even just ask these questions about his traits, his attributes, what he thinks would be a perfect fit almost.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting when you try to go out there, you plug 2 and 2 together and you find out, at the end of the day, these guys are human beings, right?
They were once your age.
And there have been times where, honestly, I guess this is a little bit of self-reflection. I've spoken to people who are 200 times more successful than me, right? In terms of monetary, they have so many better, well, I don't want to say better, but so many more connections, right? Their network is much more expanded. They're in America, XYZ. And I remember I was talking to my buddy I feel so behind, man. There's kids younger than me earning millions of dollars, things like that. But he told me something really profound. Don't compare yourself to people now. Right now, you should just compare yourself to who you were yesterday. When you're 40 now, that's the time to compare because you never know. Maybe your definition of success is different to someone else's. You care about family 100%. More than that person might care about it,
from an entrepreneurial perspective, you hear about it so many times. KFC, the founder of KFC launched his first successful business when he was 65.
Yeah.
65 years old.
Yeah.
It's never too late. But don't let that or don't make that be the reason why you don't push now.
Definitely.
Your 20s is the most energy you're ever going to have. It's the most motivation you're ever going to have. And it's also the time when you have the least amount of distractions, right? You don't have a family. Your parents, hopefully, are not yet sick where you have to take care of them and these type of factors, right? So you're able to put everything towards something, right? So again, I love that. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to how you were yesterday, right? And, another thing that correlates with that is, the person you want to be in 10 years, who do you look up to? You know what I always say? Me in 10 years. And I'm sure you've probably heard this. It's Matthew McConaughey who did this speech once. I don't know if it was an Emmy award. I think Emmy's music. I don't really know anything about that. But point is, the person you should be looking up to is you in a future period of time. And then every decision you make on a day-to-day life in the present day should be contributing to ensuring that you achieve that future outlook of yourself. If it's not, then what are you doing, right? All this gratification in present day is worthless. It doesn't help you because what ends up happening is you're 5 years down the line, all you are filled with is regrets and why you didn't do it sooner, right? You gotta delay your gratification, push now, try everything. Dude, now is the time, try everything. Money can come back. You don't have too many responsibilities. Maybe you have a couple car payments if you pay insurance. Obviously, there's outliers to that, and it makes their life that much trickier, but you have no responsibilities right now. You have to push after your dreams. I regret not trying to push harder for soccer, man. That was my dream, you know, and if I had pushed that little bit more and maybe spent that little bit more money on the plane ticket to go overseas and just be there for 6 months and do everything in the realm of my humanely possibility to achieve that goal. I mean, at the end of the day, who knows? But I could have said I tried. And now every day I live with the fact that I went semi-pro and I didn't even try to go pro because I didn't think I'd make it. And that hurts me a little bit, right? And now with my entrepreneurial endeavors and with my consulting efforts, I will never want to do that again. I will put everything forward. I will try my absolute hardest. And this goes for anybody. Try your absolute hardest. If you fail, which is very unlikely, by the way, if you try your absolute hardest.
Very unlikely.
Because you don't even know your fullest capabilities. So your absolute hardest is actually a level that you don't even know you can reach. But let's just say if you try your absolute hardest and you fail, there is no reason for your head to be down, right? The one non-negotiable in business, and I've spoken with I don't know how many multi-millionaire business owners, there's only one thing guaranteed in business, and it's that you will fail. Accepting that and learning how to adapt and get over it is one of the most important skills you can have. And it applies to consulting. You will not get every single interview. You will not fit the profile of certain companies. You know, maybe it's because you have a weird accent. Maybe it's because there's other people who are more qualified. Maybe it's just because they're looking for something specific to fit their team.
Or they even just woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Or they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Wife got mad at him in the morning, so he didn't want to hire you. Happens. You'd be surprised. Again, like you mentioned, they're regular human beings too. Right? So you got to learn to not only adapt to failure, but understand that it's going to happen and be able to push forward. A lot of people fail in their mission because they failed once and could never recover from that again, because it sticks with them like it's you know how certain fish like attach to whales and the whales carry them? So it's like a weight on your back. It attaches to you and you just let it sit there. And it's always going to be in the back of your mind. That means everything you do in the future state, you're always remembering that failure. All of my failures, I barely even acknowledge. You know, when I launched Brixl, not once did I think about all the other businesses that I messed up on and failed. I was like, no, this project's going to be awesome. We're going to achieve great things. We're going to help so many people in the industry. Not once did I think about the failures. And we failed many times in Brixl. Many things have not gone our way. We've had to delay launch, everything. But it doesn't stop us, right? And I say this not, you know, we can talk entrepreneurship here, but more so I'm trying to relate it to consulting where it's like, you have to push forward. You have to keep grinding. You have to fail. You have to fail. If you don't fail, you didn't try hard enough. Right? And I tell everybody that. If you did not fail, you did not try hard enough. You did not put your best foot forward. And you have to get used to it.
Definitely.
It relates all back to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? It's all uncomfortability. Nobody likes being uncomfortable because it's lost. It's been lost in our lives. All we're comfortable, popcorn, video games, popcorn, YouTube, popcorn, Netflix. That's comfortability. It doesn't help you become a better human being, a better spouse, a better boyfriend, girlfriend, better consultant. It doesn't help you, right? You have to, man. So I'm blabbling again, but the importance is there, right? You have to understand that failure is a non-negotiable and be able to jump over those hurdles and continue without allowing it to be a weight on your back.
Definitely. And you talked about so many different pillars that if we had 4
blabbing.
hours, I'd talk about all of those things. But I mean, just the fact that you were able to relate consulting to entrepreneurship, I guess that's the next segue that we'll look into. You're a company founder, right? Brixl, fantastic company. I've been following it ever since you posted your very first post on Instagram. It's great, you know, and I appreciate you for just putting your best foot forward. But can you tell me a little bit more about what it is?
Yeah, so, you know, for those, I mean, a lot of us are going to be, a lot of the viewers, I assume, are more corporate. So they understand kind of the platforms such as LinkedIn, even platforms like Handshake, even something a little bit like Glassdoor, where you can find information. And think about Brixl kind of encompassing all 3 of those.
I see.
Even Indeed portions when it comes to job portals, and it being for the trades and construction industry only. So I'm sure, you know, for those who aren't as knowledgeable on the trades, it's very traditional, very old school.
Very.
I mean, there's not much technological integration. I mean, you work on site every day, terrible weather, you're working, long nights, early mornings, et cetera, et cetera. Hiring has always been complicated in the industry. If you walk past a job site, I know in Oshawa, there's a lot of them up north, that's where I'm from, you see wood 2x4s holding a sign that say we are hiring, truck drivers, laborers, masoners, whatever it may be. That's old school, and it's just not enough anymore. And the Brixl ambition is to solve these problems for companies and to give workers more of an outlet, right? I think now you're seeing the neglects of construction where nobody wants to go into it because there's just bad reputation about it. It's hard work. You don't get paid good enough, which is a lie. Nobody wants to do it. You hate your life. You're always dirty, et cetera, et cetera. So not only do we want to provide a platform where workers can find good jobs and actually achieve career growth opportunities within construction, companies can also find the best qualified workers with a wider network, because it's hard to do when you don't make job postings and it's just a little sign outside of your shop.
I don't think anyone from Milton would see the 2x4.
The most important part is we want to become an advocate for an industry that has built everything we see around us, this table we're using right now, this wall, finally build something for them. So that's our ambitions here. We want to be an advocate. We want to create an impact in an industry that is far behind in terms of technological integration. And we've made it as simple as possible for workers, companies, HR teams and companies, as well as just workers like, my father, 60-year-old bricklayer for the last 40 years. We made it with the intention of people like him could use the app and find jobs, right? My father has had a stagnant career growth because he didn't know about other opportunities and became comfortable just doing his job. But it's hard work, and now he's suffering. Our goal and ambition is, listen, the construction is a great industry. The trades are great. You'll make 6 figures at 20 years old. My brother is pinpoint example of it. But now you have a platform where you can continue to develop your skills, continue to find better opportunities, and now all of a sudden your salary can continue to grow similarly to how it does in consulting when you have promotions or when you jump from one company to another and you get that performance boost or that salary increase. That doesn't happen in construction. These guys make the same wage for a long time, right? There aren't upskilling opportunities, there aren't career growth opportunities, and no one's really providing any help to get anywhere near to actually achieving that. So that's what we're trying to do at Brixl. We're trying to do it from an AI lens to make us even more appealing when it comes from a VC perspective and trying to get investors. It's a very complicated game. And AI integration is also very tricky, but we're getting close to something really, really cool that's going to massively disrupt a market that hasn't really been touched. And, I don't want to take up too much time talking about that, but the construction industry in and of itself is we're going to see a reverse trend. And I'm predicting this now. So in 10 years' time, trust me, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll be the first to admit. But if I'm right, you can hold me to it.
I heard it first.
We're going to see a reverse cycle in trends. The last 25 years has been technological. Everybody wants to do comp sci. Everyone wants to work in tech. Everything is tech integrated. AI, amazing. But now all of a sudden what happens is 80, 70, 60% of the human population are all tech geniuses, but none of them know how to do the trades. That means fixing your toilet. All of a sudden, you don't know how to fix it. You got to call someone to do it. Window installation. You don't know how to do it. You got to call someone to do it. Your shingles are old. You need new ones. You need someone to do it. Bricks on your house. You need someone to do it. And guess what? The population is only growing, which means you're going to need more houses. You're going to need more plants. You're going to need more facilities. You're going to need more plazas. You're going to need more cars. So where's all the money going to go? It's going to reverse. It's all going to go towards that. So we're trying to get ahead of the curve, and we want to be that platform. So by the time that trend starts to grow and become prevalent again, we are already an established platform that will serve a wide, diverse network of construction companies, workers, and people looking for work, as well as people looking to hire work. For example, I don't want to talk too much about it because we don't want too many people to find out about it yet. But if you're a homeowner and you want to do a quick construction job, but you don't want to go through a contractor, you'll be able to go through Brixl and find work that way. That's just a little hint. Hopefully this doesn't get too popular. I might get exposed and my co-founders might get a little mad at me. But, there's a lot of growth opportunities in the construction industry right now, and we're trying to get ahead of that. And we're trying to do it from an advocation lens. I have already told my co-founders so many times, as long as we break even, this app will function for as long as it can. I don't even care if we make money or not. Obviously, that's the goal, right? We want a business that's fully functioning, allows us to make money and earn our living that way so we can put our all into it. But I said I care so much about the problem we're solving that as long as I'm not losing money, and if if I'm rich and I lose money, it'll still continue. But as long as I'm not losing money, I want this to continue so that we can create impact in an industry that deserves help, deserves change, positive change. So that's Brixl in a nutshell. That's our goal. That's our mission. That's our aspiration. And every day we're working towards that. But it's been. I'm gonna say that it's been. But that's part of the entrepreneurial process, right? Definitely. If it was easy, everyone would do it. That's what I always tell myself.
No, thank you for sharing that. It's I can see the passion, just sitting firsthand. It's great. It's
Feel
great
the energy.
VCs would love that.
Yeah.
It's great that, awkward, but you found something that you're truly passionate about. And it's very, very interesting how you're trying to balance everything at once.
Tricky.
Going through the entrepreneurship grind. I can speak firsthand. It's near impossible. Balancing Instagram Reels, KKC Classroom, consulting, etc. But I'm very, very happy with the way that you've been able to structure just going this, school, this. Right?
Yeah, it's a lot of discipline and a lot of consistency.
Definitely, right? And I'm trying to achieve that too.
Yeah.
To be very frank with you. Like I find times where it's literally today, at 5 a.m., I couldn't sleep. I decided to scroll for a little bit.
It happens.
And it gets the best of us. But, and sometimes I feel that just being able to get rid of those distractions. Like Alex Hormozi has this really sick quote. And it goes something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, so don't hold me to it.
All right.
It's very easy to get successful nowadays because you got technology, mentors are very willing to help you, etc., etc. But it's never been easier to get distracted as well.
Yeah.
Right? You've got
a twofold
Instagram.
Situation.
Exactly. It's a double-edged sword, to be honest. And like I try to take that with every step that I go with, right? Because at the end of the day, it's almost a guarantee that you'll be successful if you can get rid of your distractions.
That's very true.
If you get rid of your distraction, you'll be so bored, you'll just want to do work. And it's happened to me. Like I love Canva. I've been using it since grade 9, grade 10, right? And I would say like more than strategy, I just love using Canva, right? And the thing is, after I would get bored from just having no distractions, I'd literally just sit on Canva till like 4 a.m. creating like KKC clothes, KKC whatever, right? And it's great because, it relates to what you're mentioning about just putting your best foot forward, making sure that everything is in alignment.
Yeah.
But that begs the question, how do you find time to just balance it?
Well, the first thing is you have to acknowledge something, and it's the fact that everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. If the Goldman Sachs CEO can be the CEO of such a massive corporation and still DJ at night, I'm sure I can figure out how to do school, company work, and then obviously extracurricular ambitions such as, for example, right now, a lot of case prep and a lot of interview prep for final round interviews and consulting full time, right? So that's what you have to acknowledge. In today's world, not only is it the easiest to get distracted, the easiest to succeed, it's also the laziest, where we just come up with the most excuses. And I'm the first to admit, I come up with excuses all the time. Even to this day, I'm not perfect. But you just have to eliminate excuses. There is no reason why you cannot. It's because you don't want to. And if you don't want to, then that's a problem within yourself that you have to figure out, right? Motivation, social media can be used for good, right?
Definitely.
I scroll through social media. If I scroll through social media, which is rare nowadays, all I see is stuff that makes me want to get off my phone and go chase my dreams even more. That's just how my feed has been structured, right? Whether it's rich millionaires on a yacht, I'm like, damn, I'm 160 million short. or as simple as, for me, I'm a huge car guy. So whenever I see like one of my dream cars is an Aston Martin Vantage V12s. I love them. If I see one, I get pissed off. And that's how I know I'm doing well, because I get angry because I don't have one and he does or she does. And my question to myself is always, what are they doing that I am not? And it just makes me want to go back to the drawing board and keep going again. So when it comes to organizing time, I just think it's solely comes back to what the goal is. I have to organize my time, because if I don't, I will not achieve A, B, and C that I want to achieve in 10 years time, 5 years time, 2 months time. If I'm okay with that, my time isn't organized. I do whatever I want. I have fun. I don't know, I don't smoke, I don't drink, but I have fun, whatever it may be. I hang out, I go out all the time, I hang out with my girlfriend, sometimes overly. And if I'm being honest, when you have a goal and a mission and something you're trying to succeed, you have to sacrifice certain things like that. I've had this conversation with my girlfriend, and I don't mean to get relationshipy on a consulting podcast, but the point will be clear. I have too many goals and too many ambitions right now we can't be hanging out all the time, even if it's what you want. Because trust me, if I achieve these goals, and I believe I can, we together will be much better off in the future. So again, it's that delayed gratification. Screw how you feel now. Work towards your mission so that you can feel great later. Because stress only increases. So you have to minimize your stress now. So that's what goes through my head every single day when I wake up in the morning and I draw out my calendar and what I have to do. Mind you, I'm a huge calendar guy. If you're not, get to it. It's essential. You cannot remember everything that you need to do. And you will not be able to structure your time. You'll lose track of time, everything. Like to the point where if I allocate 2 hours to something, even if I'm in a flow state after around that 2 hour mark, I stop doing it. I have so many other things I need to do that also need to be attended to that I move on. Depends. Sometimes, you just extend your night and you sacrifice sleep. It happens. And that way I can still accommodate for everything. But you have to be very structured with your time and very strict on when you switch. Dude, my lunch is in my calendar. No, I only have 30 minutes for lunch. It's in my calendar, right? And I'm not the busiest guy in the world, but this is what I have to do to uphold myself to the standards I need to ensure that everything gets done. Other people might be different. A lot of people, such as Jordan Peterson, when they first wake up in the morning is their 3 hour time block for when they write. And it's 0 distractions, 0 disruptions. I've heard him talk about it. His wife, his daughter, his kids, they don't come in the room. They don't even bring him a cup of coffee, nothing. He just sits there and works for 3 hours. Some people love that. Some people function best when it's just a shorter, deep work session. I have the ability to work the whole day and not really get distracted. Like, with breaks here and there, obviously that just helps with staying focused. I'm able to do that. So my recommendation for allocating time is 1, understand that you have to do it. It's a non-negotiable. If you don't, you're just making excuses and you won't succeed as well as you should be. But 2, understand what works best for you. You see Alex Hormozi, for example, great guy, amazing, inspiration for many. He can work 24/7. He's always working. For some people, and there's a lot of people out there who've succeeded more than Alex Hormozi, and they don't do that. So you have to identify what works best for you and allows you to function at your highest capacity. If working all day just means you're always like, each hour that goes by is just more diminishing returns, you probably shouldn't be doing that. You have to find out what works best for you. If you wake up late, but you seem to work best right when you wake up earlier and allocate more time to that and sacrifice a bit of sleep. People think, again, even I've used the excuse before, but I need my 8 hours of sleep. It's just another excuse, man. People who have made it don't sleep that much, right? And I hate to say that because I love sleep, man. I'm a huge sleeper. I love it. I love it because I still have the tendencies of when I was an athlete. That's when sleep's very important. Because obviously you're talking peak performance, and sleep's important, non-negotiable either way for your health. But like sometimes you need those 2 extra hours, and that's your advantage, man. Like as long as you're always functioning at your highest capacity, your best capacity, and you have 2 extra hours, people always ask me, why are you still working at 1 a.m? Like, dude, if I stopped at 10, imagine everyone else who got ahead of me working those 3 hours extra. And I don't know if it's because I'm a high achiever, like I really just want to achieve all of my goals, but that's always stuck in my head. No, I can't stop. If I do, someone else is getting closer to something I want to accomplish. And there's only so much room for everyone to succeed, right? People think it's infinite. It's not. There's only so much room. And either it's you or it's the next person beside you. Again, throw yourself in the lion's den. Figure it out. But structuring your time, you got to do it. And I'm a huge advocate for calendars. Yeah. You got to structure your time.
No, definitely. And another point that you mentioned, which I think is really important. I struggled with this a lot, was finding the time where you feel you work like at your prime.
It's tricky.
Right? Like for me, if I'm being completely honest with you, my parents don't agree with this. My friends don't agree with this. No one agrees with this. But my best time to work is between 8 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Yep.
I love to work during that.
A lot of people are like that.
And I love that, my classes, they're scheduled like at 2 p.m. So I get to wake up at like 12, 1, something like that. I don't like to necessarily work during the afternoons per se. Yeah. I just like it when it's completely pitch dark and I have like that one specific light on, right? And for me, for the longest time, I was battling that. I was like, no, I got to wake up at 6 a.m. I gotta drink
5 a.m. lifestyle.
Yeah, I gotta drink like 3 liters of water. I gotta make
cold plunge.
Cold shower 10 minutes after you wake up, right? And I struggle with that, right? Just trying to balance that. But I realized, and I've come to understand that it's important that you work on your schedule. Yes, 5 a.m. Lifestyle is not healthy at all, and I don't recommend it. But at the same time, like the one where 8 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Yes.
Not the actual one.
Okay.
That one's very healthy. But regarding the 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. one, it's not healthy, but it just works for me, right?
But mind you, I know, and it's kind of a question I want to ask, but it's also just to open everyone's mind up. Is it that unhealthy if you're still sleeping the amount of time? You just allocate your life differently.
I've argued that question with a few of my friends, and I'm a very like stubborn guy. Like, yeah, I'm right. I said I'm right.
Me too.
Right? But then they prove me with Google. I still say I'm right. It's like,
interesting. No, because I very much believe what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people use the 5 a.m. logic because some people say, oh, but that those first 3 hours before everyone's awake is for yourself. Some people say those first 3 hours are for you to work when no one else is working. My argument is like, come 10 p.m., no one else is working either. They're all getting ready for bed. I'm working. Yeah. Right?
No,
I sleep when they wake up. Sure. Yeah. In my opinion, that's a social media gimmick that has caused people to get fixated with that.
Perhaps.
With me, if you work in 10 hours towards your goals, it doesn't matter when you do it. You're working 10 hours towards your goals. This is my opinion, right? I think what is important is identify when you work best, because some people do work better in the morning. Okay, you have to wake up early. That's when you work best. You love when the sun is not setting, sun rising. Yeah. And that's when you function best. For me, when I was in Europe, I actually did work better in the morning. You go to the nearest cafe, you get your espresso, maybe, shout out Portuguese people, the pastéis de nata, you have a couple of those, maybe a little croissant. You're in the middle of Paris, France, the Eiffel Tower is right in front of you. I could work in the morning, no problem doing that.
Yeah.
But here, just how environments change, and also other people's schedules. Now I deal with schedules of co-founders and stuff. One of my co-founders works in the UK. So we have late meetings, right? Yeah. We have late meetings because he's 5 hours ahead of us. Yeah. So, and he has even later meetings. Sometimes he's taking meetings for Brixl at 4 a.m. Yeah. Right? And then you add on the fact that our tech team currently works out of the Dubai, kind of those Arab regions. They're even further ahead of us, 12 hours almost. So, again, you have to sacrifice for your goals. Sometimes I don't even want to work late at night, but you know what? That's what has to be done right now. So either way, that's just a personal preference. What stays certain is you have to find what works best for you. And if never working is what works best for you, then I'm sorry, my friend, you won't achieve what you plan to achieve. You have to, at some point, sacrifice does come into play. I mean, it's a sacrifice to stay up till 5 a.m., to be honest.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah. So you're sacrificing, but you're sacrificing knowing that's when you work best. So it's person to person.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to identify at what points in time you function best. And sometimes that changes. Like winter at night, it's like, I'm too cold, bro. Like I need to go to bed under my sheets and be warm. Yeah. I'll go in the morning and do my work. So it depends. It varies, right? But what is certain is you have to find out what works. Because that, and the process of how you work. I work in silence. If I could have a soundproof room where I could scream out of frustration, no one could hear me and I can't hear nobody, that would be ideal. That's how I work the best. With a little bit of that, shout out the Deep Focus playlist on Spotify.
Yeah.
I throw that on in the background. I'm unbeatable, dude. I don't move. Last night, just for reference, guys, sorry, we're getting a little friendly conversation here. Last night, my office is in my basement, and it's on purpose. My room's upstairs. I leave my phone in my room. I put it on D&D.
I see.
And I walk all the way downstairs. I worked for 11 hours straight yesterday.
Damn.
From 1 to midnight. That's 11 hours,
12,
right? Yeah. I didn't stop. I had dinner. I stopped. Yeah. For 30 minutes. It was allocated on my calendar.
Fraud.
Yeah. But again, and I don't recommend that either, but it's all just personal preference, dude. Some people just function better. Like I said, the Goldman Sachs CEO, DJs at night, there are days he's got to be up the next morning, probably on client calls.
Yeah.
He does it. He finds a way. You figure it out. You sacrifice a little bit here and there. You should, at the end of the day, if you truly care about your goal, you should be willing to do almost anything for it. Within moral standards, of course.
Yeah, moral standards. Yeah, no, I mean, final thing I'll say about that too is, for me, I feel like I'm a very night guy, right? Like even hanging out with my friends, I do it at like 2 a.m., right?
Holy smokes, Osmos runs, eh? Right before they close.
Osmos is the only one that's open.
Not now, diet.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I got to cut, which is horrible. But even with cutting, right? Like I feel that the time that I crave the most food, like yesterday, I think the reason I couldn't sleep was because I was so hungry.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure. Yeah, so like usually if I'm full, right? Like I'm just all right.
You're very sleepy when you're full, actually.
Yeah.
Start dozing off in this chair.
Yeah, but the point that I'm trying to say is, even at nighttime, like when I do my runs, when I'm trying to cut or do work, etc., I feel a lot more. Not only, like, for me, 1 hour at night isn't equal to 1 hour in the day. And I feel like a lot of people
what you mean by that.
don't like understand that. They're like, oh, it's just 1 hour, right?
It's like a productivity lens.
Exactly.
You do more in an hour at night than you would in the day.
Exactly. And if there's one thing I learned from economics last year, is literally like the marginal difference, right? Like the amount that you get, the output that you get from my 1 hour at night is not equal to the same 1 hour I get at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m.
Don't tell a consulting firm that.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. I was just about to say, actually. Like,
personal endeavors.
Right. Personal endeavors only. If it's client calls, strategy work, I'm happy.
But again,
to
I think
the
human body is such an incredible thing. Like you'd be surprised if you do a little bit of scientific research. I'm a knowledge geek, by the way, so I know a lot about psychology. I do all this research because I think it's very fascinating. You can create a habit in 21 days. Yes. That means, although right now your productivity is maximized at night, within 3 weeks, your productivity could be maximized during the day if you just make a couple of pivotal shifts. I just want to make that known. Because some people make the excuse, oh, I work best at night, but how can I start a business if it's only by myself? I have no one to work with because no one else works at night. Get out of here. Get out. Pivot. Change. You can develop the habits, man.
Definitely.
Your brain, your body is so incredible. It can adapt to almost any environment. As long as you're healthy, obviously, right? So it's just, that's a critical observation too. Like, and I reflect, obviously, I also am not the biggest early bird, but obviously when I was doing my internship at SK, I had to be downtown Toronto 4 days a week, was kind of the mandatory intern experience, which I liked. I loved it. But I live almost 2 hours away. So I'm getting up very early, which, in a sense hinders my sleep because I still kind of slightly like to stay up late. So what happens is I'm going to bed at 1, but I got to be up at 5. 4 hours of sleep, it's not a lot, right? So, but after those first 3 weeks, my body was used to it and there was no problem, right? So understand that. Like, don't make the excuse that, oh, I'm a night owl and it hinders me or vice versa. And I think if you genuinely want to change something, you can. Your human body is very much capable of it. It's just whether you mentally are capable of doing it or not.
No, right? I will make the disclosure that
yeah, no, absolutely. He didn't mean that, guys.
No, like in the past, I found that morning work, like especially in winter, I feel that morning works the best for me. And even, I would say in first year, when we had like 8 a.m. classes, that worked better for me. Yeah. The point that I'm trying to say is that it just depends on like the other responsibilities that you have, right? Like for me, if everything was in the morning, then I'd be calm with it waking up in the morning, right?
I think it's, sorry to interrupt you a little bit, but it's also like an excitement perspective.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'm Christian, and I'm sure you can relate to it. You guys have your own holidays and such, but when it's Christmas Day, dude, it doesn't matter how early, I'm excited to get up, check my stocking, and see what's under the tree. Since the day I was born to now, dude, I'm 21. I'm still, Christmas Day, I'm up at 6 a.m., no problem.
Yeah.
And by the way, we were up till 2 a.m. the night before, so I'm only sleeping 4 hours. But it's no problem. So I think, and you hear it all the time, when you love what you do, not a single day is work. And that correlates with your productivity. When you're excited to do something, you can get up in the morning and do it. Like there's been days, where we had a lot of Brixl stuff to do, in-person filming, a couple podcasts, mentorship calls, a couple sales calls. Dude, I'm excited for that day. Yeah. I get up at 7 a.m., no problem. That whole day's productive. So I think it's important. That's why it comes back to our first 5 minutes conversation, the importance of goal setting and knowing what you're trying to achieve. Because when you truly believe in it and you truly are excited and really believe that you can hit that and you can be that person, you can be you in 10 years' time successfully, every day you're excited to work. And that is like a 10x on productivity. People who hate their work are never good at it.
Yeah.
I noticed instances where I suffered, even this past consulting internship, whether it was because of my team dynamic or the early morning or the commute to work, each little thing hindered my productivity because they compound. And all of a sudden you're like, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're like a 7 in terms of how excited you are to work. But when you're at a 10 out of 10, dude, all the time, work is easy, man. It flows at any time. And I think that's what you call the flow state. You've heard Michael Jordan talk about it. You hear LeBron, Kobe, all these wonderful people. And I always relate to sports. I'm a huge sport guy. When you hit the flow state, productivity happens at any hour. Whether it's at 2 in the morning. Sorry, I just went on a weird tangent. Dude, there's been nights where I'm sleeping and I wake up at 3 a.m. with motivation to work.
Yeah.
And I get out of bed, go to the office in the basement, sit down. My parents wake up at 4 a.m. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I had an idea. And that's my face. I had an idea. I had to try it. So, productivity is hit or miss. This thing about the best hours to work, again, it's hit or miss. I think it's all subjective on do you love what you're doing?
Yeah.
And do you truly want to work on it? If so, you can do it at any time.
Yeah.
That's why schoolwork's hard, man. A lot of people don't like schoolwork. But all of a sudden, sending recruitment emails and sending emails for help to ask for consulting roles or full-time opportunities, all of a sudden you can do that at any hour of the day.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's important to you and you really want to achieve it. So I think that should open your mind and the viewers' minds too. It's all like your mental state, your framework mentally, how you structure your thoughts. If that's all aligned, you can work at any hour. You can work for long periods of time. You can sacrifice going out with the boys one night and be able to sit back and work. You can do a marathon at 2 a.m. or with no practice like you did. That's all mental, dude. The brain is one of the one things on this human earth that nobody fully understands. So to limit yourself is almost arrogant. To say that you can't is almost arrogant to say. You know, if you're making excuses because you think you can't do something, you're arrogant. You're ignorant for thinking that. To limiting yourself to your capabilities that you think you have. Dude, there's nothing in this world that you cannot reach. And if you walk away with anything from this interview, you, me, viewers, there is nothing in this world that you cannot accomplish if you truly believe you can accomplish it. But it's like I said, you could take something from anybody, no matter what.
Take the good things from everyone.
Yeah, right? So, and that's one of the things I took away from him. Because I used to be, I don't want to call myself arrogant and ignorant, but I used to be one of those people that thought it wasn't possible to do, or I just thought I wasn't capable. Like, oh no, mentally I can't do that.
Right.
What are you talking about? I can't achieve that.
No, definitely. And I feel that it's not necessarily a problem bringing up the good things about other people, especially if the lesson itself that really matters. And I'm sure that's the lesson that many people could take, regardless of their structure ideas towards
I truly believe
the person himself.
You have to be a lifelong learner, and that consists of learning from anybody. Definitely. You can learn from homeless people. There are homeless people who 100%. Were once musicians and CEOs, actors.
My Uber driver, man. Like these guys have
Exhibit A
knowledge. Yeah.
Exhibit A, right? And I think if you truly strive to gain knowledge, that starts with being able to listen to anybody who's in front of you.
Definitely.
And taking and with the focus of taking something away from that conversation, because you can learn from anybody, right?
And like that's like, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead.
That's something I always try to make sure I follow. The fact that you shouldn't ever judge someone and think, okay, they can't
100%.
offer you anything.
100%.
It's impossible. Like
100%.
even like my baby brother, he offers me some sort of perspective, right?
Yes.
Kid's 5 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes it's indirectly, but they do.
Exactly.
The way they, the way, even just fascination of how they might do something for their age, you're like, wow, that's so smart. And then you think about it, it's like, oh. Like you come to some sort of realization.
Exactly.
Right? So it applies to anybody.
Right? And like you shouldn't ever judge someone maybe because they didn't get a consulting internship, or they didn't do XYZ or XYZ, they didn't run a marathon or whatever else, right?
No, I'm a huge advocate on that.
Yeah, you should always try to learn from anyone. There's people with insane amounts of knowledge. All my mentors have been absolutely great, and I've been very, very blessed, I will say. Every single mentor, whatever firm they're at, they all have some sort of perspective that they share.
Absolutely.
Like with Iman, bro, like half my conversations, not even half, like 90% of my conversations have nothing to do with consulting. Just like how to become a better human being, right?
Yeah.
Like being kinder, being nicer, things of that nature.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the same with everyone.
I'm huge with those things.
Exactly. Like I was talking with Alex yesterday, Alex Bodar, and great guy. Like we were just having a conversation about, just burnout in general, right? Like being able to understand that sometimes you need vacation, sometimes you need time to yourself. And everyone has these little pieces of advice that they can always share.
Everyone, dude.
Right?
Everyone. My mom knows nothing about business, and neither does my dad. And they've given me business advice. Sometimes it's interpersonal advice that relates to my business, but either way, they've offered something that I can take away that I benefited from. And I think the important thing here, guys, is you have to humble yourself. You don't know anything, right? That's what I tell myself all the time. I wake up every day, I don't know nothing. And that's what motivates me to listen to every conversation I have, respect everyone in front of you. And I know we're getting very moral here, but you'd be surprised. There's a very, very big correlation between morality and success. I'm not saying there are people who've succeeded doing shady stuff. It does happen all the time, and you're seeing it a lot more now with social media.
Right.
But all the successful business owners I know, and everyone in between who's decently successful, we all have one common trait, and it's we all respect each other. I always say, a business owner who's made it will never hate on you for starting a business.
Definitely.
But you know who does hate on you for starting businesses? People without one. So my point is, even when they make it to the top, being humble, being respectful, and admiring others, and looking at someone in front of you and understanding that they have something that you don't, therefore you can learn something from them, gets you so far in life and allows you to be that lifelong learner. And then in conversations like this, in behavioral interviews, in case interviews, you can pull out so many tricks and things from your hat that you gained over this time from being just listening. Right. And we're losing that in today's world. Everyone thinks their opinion trumps the other person's, and they to the point where they don't even listen to the other person's thought. And I think, again, we're offering so many gems here. Yeah. But another one is like, approach every conversation with humility. You're the one who knows nothing, and that you're going to learn something from that other person. I'm learning a lot right now because I don't run a podcast. So I'm seeing the way you conduct it. And it's very helpful, right? And I've learned so much from you. And by the way, but you're a G because you're also not afraid to go out of your way. And that's a confidence thing that we talked about behaviorals. You could talk to me like you've been in the game longer than me. And statistically, maybe not because you're younger than me, but it doesn't matter because you have that confidence. And then it's a two-way street. You have the confidence, I have the humility. All of a sudden, I'm gaining something when you talk, and then the roles reverse, and you gain something when I speak. Definitely. And that's how a group, a core of people grows. And when you think from a teamwork perspective, consulting a lot of teamwork, that's something you got to apply the second you get into the workforce. 100%. The second you get into the workforce. 1,000% is the most important part. Yeah. That's me on that front.
No, I appreciate it. We've gone through a lot of topics this podcast. And, there's so many more things that we could talk about. I wish we had the
Maybe
time.
EP2. Maybe we'll do a second episode. Yeah. Hopefully Brixl can start to go a little bit. And KKC Classroom starts launching. All of a sudden, we're in a cooler.
Yeah, for sure. No, KKC Classroom has it's business, man.
Business. But that's why it's fun.
It is.
If it was easy, everyone would do it.
That's true. That is true.
Right?
But yeah. No, but Daniel, sorry, DJ. I appreciate you for hopping on the podcast.
Dude, honor, man.
I really do appreciate you sharing your insights, sharing every single aspect, right? Even backing me up when I said that I don't wake up early mornings for the consulting firms. That might be.
Hey, whoever your friends are, trust me, it works if it works. Okay.
Yeah,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it was for consulting, I'll wake up at 5 a.m. No worries.
That's right. If you have to, take a cold shower. The 5 a.m. life, dude. I did that for a period of time.
I tried. Like I enjoyed it.
I loved it, but it's hard.
I enjoyed it. It's like not even hard. It was just I just felt like it wasn't helping.
5 a.m. You feel like a zombie. What am I doing?
Like even the cold showers.
I love a cold shower. I can't lie.
I feel good.
I'm an ice bath dude.
Yeah. Oh, fairs.
With Epsom salts, I'm a killer with that, man.
Oh, that's good. That's good. No, for me, I really prefer just warm temperatures.
No,
like, I'm a really just hot guy. Not in that sense, though.
Yeah, well, no. Subject to debate, depending on who's in front of you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, but thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Peace out.